given all this African perspective, how did you find Ethiopia and its efforts to meet the goals?
In many ways, Ethiopia has made dramatic efforts. If you look at the year 2000, Ethiopia's economy was stagnating and suffering the effects of structural adjustment programs. Ethiopia particularly has one of the most vulnerable agricultural sectors. It's more vulnerable to climate change, vulnerable to drought, and Ethiopia has a very complex topography and demography, population scattered all over the place, a massive land area, harsh topographic things, and so on and so forth. So by the year 2000, Ethiopia was starting from an extremely low level of development. The roads were rotten. There was hardly any telecommunication system to talk about. The level of enrollment in schools was terrible. The numbers of nurses that had ever been trained and available in the health system was awful. Basic infrastructure for government to function did not hardly exist then. If you look at it, 10, 11 years down the line, there's been incredible change across Ethiopia. Markets have been opened up by much better trunk roads. There's a lot more work to do with feeder roads, but the markets have opened up tremendously. The investment in roads has generated jobs and has facilitated agriculture in many ways. There was electricity access has increased. There's still more than 40-50% lack of access to electricity, but the rate of progress from the level of access to electricity, which was somewhere around 12 or 40% of the population, to where it is now, which is well over 30% or 40%, is tremendous progress over a short period of a decade. So you can see Ethiopia has sustained a level of growth that was difficult to imagine in the year 2000. And that certainly has contributed to an overall decline in poverty. But as we said, whereas there is an overall decline in poverty, there is an increase in inequalities, especially in the urban areas. The growing inequalities in the urban area is putting pressure on the ability of growth to translate into poverty reduction. And that is a policy area that needs to be seriously addressed. Ethiopia has had some of the more innovative approaches to providing health care and training human resources in the health sector. And the number of community health nurses trained over the last few years, and the number of agricultural extension workers trained over the last few years is tremendous in comparison with any country. Now, the training of teachers, the training of the supply of health nurses, and extension workers are laying the grounds for much better access by the rural poor to the basic services of education, healthcare, and agricultural advice to increase agricultural productivity. So the years down the line hold a lot of promise. Ethiopia has done as badly, if not worse, in relation to maternal mortality, as in many countries. But that, of course, as I said, maternal mortality is a composite indicator. It is the result of everything that goes wrong in the society, including having to address age-old patriarchal relationship between men and women, and access to income by women, and access to education by women. These are generational change questions. What is important is whether we are moving in the right direction, whether we can say that what is on the ground at the moment will lead to, in the significant changes or reversal of the current condition in the next generation. And if we ask that question, I would say Ethiopia is in the right direction, and therefore going into the next generation, the data and statistics of maternal mortality, of child mortality, access to education, access to healthcare would improve significantly. But that, of course, it requires other things. One is addressing the vulnerability to climate change. It is absolutely important. Ensuring that the democratic transitions and the democratic processes continue where wars don't break up and violent conflicts don't break up, ensuring that citizens have a voice and that's respecting that voice, whether it is comfortable or not comfortable, because development, after all, is about the freedoms and liberation of the citizen. And harnessing those citizen voices to feed effectively back into government policy to ensure that those who are responsible for delivering services and improving the well-being of citizens are responding to the demands, concerns, suggestions, views, and ideas of the ordinary citizen. These go hand in hand with the